What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. We got a big NASCAR story to talk about today, and let's just jump straight into it. So, NASCAR has announced the end of May through June schedule for 2020. So, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. So, to start off on Saturday, May 30th, we will run the Xfinity Series race at Bristol, a 160-mile race at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Right after that, on Sunday, May 31st, will be the Cup race, a 500-lap race at Bristol at same time the next day. Then the week after, we're gonna have a doubleheader for the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series, where the Truck Series will have a 200-mile race. It'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Cup Series race on not the Cup race, the Xfinity Series race for a 250-mile race at 4:30 Eastern. Right after that, the next day on Sunday, June 7th. We will be racing at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Cup Series, a 500-mile race, and that will take place at 3 p.m. Eastern. Right after that, we're going to run our only midweek race of this, and we'll be running at Martinsville for a midweek race on Wednesday, June 10th. It'll be a 500-lap race at Martinsville, and it'll take place at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm really excited about that one, by the way. Right after that, we're going to go to Miami. So on Saturday, June 13th, we will go to Homestead-Miami, and it will be a doubleheader as well on Saturday. And we'll both have a doubleheader on Sunday as well. On Saturday, June 13th, the Truck Series will race a 201-mile race, a 134-lap race at Homestead for 12:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Xfinity Series race, a 250-mile race at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, so 2:30 Central Time where I'm from. On Sunday, June 14th, we will run also a doubleheader at the Xfinity Series race will take place. So 2 races, and we'll talk about why there are 2 of those races at 250-mile race, and it will take place at 12 p.m. Eastern. So pretty early for me, to be honest. And then on Sunday, June 14th, we will have the Miami Cup race at 400-mile race. It'll take place at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Right after that, the final 3 races that have been announced are the races that will take place at Talladega. So we will have a doubleheader at Talladega for the Saturday at Dega. And the ARCA race taking place, a 202-mile race at Dega. It'll be at 2 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Xfinity Series race, which will be a 300-mile race. So that's about 110 laps. And it'll be 500 at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And then finally, and this has been announced, on Saturday, June 21st at Talladega, the Cup Series race, a 500-mile race at 2 p.m. Eastern. Now, for those who have been asking, are fans going to be allowed back in the stands? And the answer is no. And also things to note, Kansas, Michigan, Mid-Ohio, and the Texas events have been postponed. And unfortunately, and this is where Miami comes in for the Xfinity Series, there are going to be no Iowa races in 2020. Which I think makes a lot of sense considering what has been happening in Iowa. They just started putting a lot of their stay-at-home orders, and they were one of the last states to jump the gun. So they've had a lot of more cases and a huge rise in cases, which makes a lot of sense why that there are going to be no Iowa races that are going to take place in 2020. Which means that one of those Xfinity Series races at Iowa is going to be moved to Miami. I believe there's going to be more announcements about what the other race for Xfinity Series is going to be. But yeah, that is basically the schedule announcement from May through June. Yeah, there's a lot to take in from all that. Races I'm definitely excited for. And by the way, let me just say this for the record. I am very excited about this. And it's kind of what I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to go to Bristol, Atlanta, then Martinsville, Miami, and then Dega. I kind of thought this is how they were going to do it. And I'm not surprised. I'm also not surprised that they're only doing one midweek race. I thought actually, I'm kind of surprised a little bit there are no midweek races except that Cup race at Martinsville. They would get a Martinsville Cup race, a night race there, which that is going to be really exciting. And also those Dega races in the summer. I think that's really exciting as well. I am expecting there to be no qualifying or practice during those races as well, so that's going to be interesting. I think they're going to kind of follow what they're doing with Charlotte and Darlington. I think they're going to follow pursuit with that to go with those races. But yeah, I'm really excited for this because, again, they're kind of having it kind of around the Charlotte area where they don't have to travel as far because all these tracks are somewhat within distance of Charlotte. I think Vegas is a little bit far away, but Miami's kind of in traveling distance. Atlanta's in driving distance. and Bristol and driving this as well. And this is also going to save teams a lot of money because they don't have to travel all across the country, at least during the June months. I do expect if this virus does not get any worse and it continues to get better, and we start, if this starts to see this Sunday of Darlington, I think you could see a lot more races back up kind of closer to the West Coast. I don't think, however, there are going to be really any more West Coast races, except Phoenix, which that got announced. The Arizona governor basically announced that that's good to go, which I'm really excited about that. But again, I'm not surprised that those races got canceled. They basically said that they're going to try to get more race in. They're just following the health and government officials. So those races are probably going to happen eventually. There probably still will end up being possibly 2 races. But again, races could end up getting canceled like those 3. I wouldn't be surprised if more tracks end up losing races. I wouldn't even be shocked, to be honest with you, if Michigan, Kansas, even Texas loses 1 race this year. I wouldn't be surprised if those tracks end up losing one of their races just because they're trying to get all this in. And I'm also excited for all those doubleheaders, especially at Miami, because Homestead-Miami Speedway does provide a lot of great racing. Atlanta, I think that's going to be very fun. Bristol being the first short track we went to this, I think this will be the first short track we are going to this season, which I'm really excited for Bristol because Bristol's always good. And hey, they can't complain about not having fans in their stands because they're literally going to have no fans in the stands. Talladega is definitely exciting for sure. I'm just excited in general, just really, really excited that we got more tracks, and all these tracks I'm really looking forward to. I think NASCAR has done a really good job, and also kind of mixes up the schedule as well. You go to a short track, then you go to mile half, then to a short track, then another mile half, and then you go to super speedway. I kind of like this mix up as well. They're not just gonna jump like from like Bristol to Martinsville, or like they jump from Atlanta, Miami, like Texas. I like this, and they're mixing it up because you're not going to get the same kind of racetrack. And I think that this could give advantage to some teams, but I don't know if it's going to really give an advantage to many teams, to be quite honest with you, because I don't think any team is going to have an advantage to some of these racetracks. Now, granted, there might be some advantage for some of these teams at tracks like Miami and tracks like at Talladega, because some of those teams are in Talladega. Now, like I said, I am excited for Talladega, don't get me wrong, but I don't think the racing is going to be fantastic at Talladega because of the Ryan Newman crash, because they have reduced the speeds for those races. But I still think Dega is going to be a good race regardless of what happens or not. Don't be surprised if it turns to a single-file train fest as well throughout that race, just because of that whole crash with Newman, and drivers are going to be scared to make moves. Or we'll see a lot of craziness and drivers won't learn from what happened to Ryan Newman, and we'll see a crazy ref fest. But they've done a lot of measures as well. Also, that's basically around the time for Martinsville, which Martinsville night race, midweek race. Ooh, I'm excited for that. So, in general, I'm extremely excited that we are going to have a next part of the schedule announced. Again, I'm expecting the next part of the schedule to be announced sometime at the end of June, probably like June 28th. We'll probably get some races announced very, very soon. I don't know what the schedule is going to look like after this, to be quite honest with you, because it's kind of what I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I'm excited for these races to return. I also still am a fan of NASCAR not jumping the gun and putting out like the rest of the schedule, not like what IndyCar has done and done a bad job on that. I think they've done a very, very, very good job at not pushing the schedule out, and they're taking their time on it. And it's going to make it a lot better for the fans because it's going to be uncertain of what's going to happen. But then you got that 2021 schedule that's not that far away, which that is going to be really, really exciting. So yeah, 2 videos in a single day. Yeah, good on that. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on so you get notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Links in the description below for that. And comment your thoughts on what you think of the schedules. What do you think about the schedule, the rest of the end of May through June schedule? Let me know in the comments below. And anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.